Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about my theory. Well, what's my theory? My theory it's about the time and the space. I'm not so good speaking English, but I'm gonna try to do it in this video because I would like to share with you what I think of the time and the space with my theory. Well, what we have here in the screen is the theory of the time and space absolutes. You know, the physics teach us that the time and the space are relatives, but this is grown, and that is grown because what really is happening is that, for example, the problem of gravity is that not is changing the time, but else is the gravity that creates the effect that the time is relative. You know, in this case, we have with my theory a critic base that is explaining that the gravity makes that the time seems like if were relative, but it is not relative. And this kind of illusion, this kind of psychology is something real. You know, this part of the psychology that the time is seems to us that is relative is real, but the objective part of the time and the space with this part of the analysis, I'm talking about the part that is objective, is not something relative. You know, in other terms, it's like in a real situation, not depending of our psychology, the time and the space are absolute and not relative, but physics insist in that. You know, the people that study physics is all the time saying that the time and the space are relatives, but this is a grown way. Well, I have here my theory that I use to prove that the time and the space are absolute with 2 points: the problem of general relative and the problem of relativity. These two parts of my analysis, I use it to explain or to show why the time and the space are not relatives. And that is so cool because in the first part of my theory, I explain why the really thing is happening with the time is that the gravity makes the effect that the time is relative, but is not. And in the second part, with my arguments, I explore the problem with the relativity, cause this problem of the theory of the relativity, it's that in real terms, how is how is the behavior of something if it's going to a high velocity. Yeah, on how is the relation with the velocity of the object in relation to other objects. What we have to understand to catch that my theory is good is in this second point is not changing the time and the space. They are not relative. what is happening in this second problem that I show that is grown is that something is um, uh, the perspective that we have being an object going to a something like is going to a high velocity creates creates the effect that the time is relative. With when something is going to a high velocity, creates seems like the time is relative, but that something is going to a high velocity, that something can to go a high velocity, it doesn't mean that the time is relative. And in this second part of my arguments to prove my theory, what I use is that in philosophical terms, something can seems, but it's not the real thing. You know, there is a difference between what seems something or how seems something it works, but other thing is how really it works. So in these two problems that I use to prove my theory, you can see that situation that something seems, the time seems relative and space seems relative, but it doesn't relative. The same thing happened here with just the topic of relativity. Well, and this document that I make to explain my theory is in the description. Is in the description of my YouTube channel. You can find my web, my official web, and find this document in the section that I put like my theory. You can go in and find this document. This is a simplified greeting with these arguments. It's and I write in this case my theory like if it was literally or like a book or like an history or like a story, cause I want to make my theory with because I do my theory with the intention that everybody can understand it. So to me, is it's a pleasure if someone can to see or watch this video and try to explore my theory. It's easy to become these things in English with the translated of YouTube. In this case is in Spanish, but you can just download the text and translate it to understand. I do it very easy, the arguments, and the idea is that you can to meditate and to think about my theory, because it's very interesting this point of view that I have created about the time and the space, and I really would like that you can see. I really would like that you watch this video and read and explore my theory, because the idea is to share the knowledge and to know what do you think about my theory of the space and time absolutes, not relative. And that is the video from today, and I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching me. And that's my level of English that I have. So let me know what you think about my theory. I really would like that you read it, that you meditated it, because I want to share with you about these things of the universe and the science and the philosophy too with you.